Well, good day everybody, welcome back. Well, this is an Epson Elite 300. This is an electronic Daisywheel typewriter. It was made in about 1990, the best I can tell. I've been checking it out the last few days. It's actually kind of neat. When they did make these back in their day, they were kind of interesting. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Stay tuned. Well, along with the typewriter, of course, it comes with an AC adapter. This is a 6-volt adapter that plugs into the back of the typewriter. It has an option for battery packs, but it doesn't have one. It came with a very thorough manual, including some of the original shipping papers that came with it. And the manual itself, the best I can tell, was printed in 1987, so that was probably the first model year of these typewriters. Well, it also comes with a little plastic cover that you can put over it, a dust cover, which is kind of cool. It did come in a box. But wait, there's more. It came with a spare Courier 10 print wheel. What's in here right now is also a Courier 10, so it has two of the same type wheels. It came with a 2-pack of lift-off correction tapes right here, and then it has 3 spare print cartridges for the ribbon. So it looks like we're kind of set for a while on this machine as far as supplies that we need. So the ribbon cover of the typewriter is this kind of smoky colored plastic panel that hinges up like that to reveal the ribbon. And you can remove this cover by pulling up the right side like this and just removing it from the pin on the left side. There you can replace it or take it out. And you don't really need to, though, necessarily, but it fits right in like that. And you can operate the typewriter with the cover down. You can still see the text being printed fairly well. This is the paper guide on the left side. I usually try to line it up with the 0 mark on the cover. And as you can probably tell, it has both the provisions for 10 or 12 characters per inch, which you can set on the keyboard. Well, I thought I would show you how to pull off the print cartridge. You have to first center the cartridge, turn off the machine. And so there are 2 little tabs back here. You have to kind of press them in, and then you can lift the cartridge off. Now, this is a really interesting cartridge. It has a little wheel here for taking up the slack. But if you flip it over, you'll find that what it actually is a combination of print cartridge and correction tape that's mounted as one unit. And you can install new correction tape onto the existing cartridge. So this bracket here and this bracket here are the correction tape. It clips into your current print cartridge. So if you happen to use up your print cartridge and your erasing or correction cartridge is still good, you can swap the correction cartridge onto the new cartridge. You have these 2 orange little rollers you have to press in, and you flip this drive unit up, and this is the print wheel. So the print wheel is pretty small, and what it has is a little metal bail you flip up like this, and then you can just pull it off like that. There is a hole in it, and there is a pin right here on this gear, and you just put it on the shaft and line up the hole with the pin, and then carefully clip that little metal clip back into place until it clicks. There it has been replaced. These are very fragile because of the age of them. The plastics can get brittle, so be careful with them. So then to flip this back down, you want to push in the rollers again, the orange rollers, and put it back down carefully like that, nice and gentle. And then to put the print cartridge back in place, you have to basically guide the 2 sets of ribbons behind the print position here, and then push the tabs on the back and seat it down onto the frame. So I'm pushing the tabs forward. I got the ribbon behind the wheel, and like that, clips into place. Turn the power switch back on, and it will reset the cartridge, find the home position, and you're ready to go. So this is one of the smaller Daisywheel typewriters. The external dimensions are 14.5 by 12 by 2.5 inches. Only 2.5 inches tall, so it really gives the Groma Colibri a run for its money in terms of the height of it. It has a platen knob on the right side that you can pull out to use, and then you can push it back in for storage, which is kind of nice. The weight of the unit is 8.9 pounds, including the optional nickel cadmium battery pack. So without that, it would be probably maybe 8 pounds or less. So it's pretty lightweight for a typewriter. So the printing line will take a maximum of 9.5-inch wide paper, and it is an 8-inch wide printing line itself. So 9.5-inch maximum paper, 8-inch maximum printing line. It has a internal memory of 8 kilobytes. It has the capability of using memory cartridges, RAM cartridges, which of course are probably totally unavailable these days, but in its heyday you could use RAM cartridges. But it still enables you to type a document into the internal memory, and as long as you have power applied via the power cord or the optional battery pack, it will hold that memory. So if you had this on your desk plugged in all the time, you could type up a standard form like a template in here and use it. And according to the manual here, they did originally come up with black, red, or blue print cartridges, but apparently the only ones that I have that came with this are black. According to the manual, this prints at 12 characters per second maximum printing speed, and the copy capacity is it's capable of an original plus 1 copy. I'm assuming that means carbon copy. I did try putting a number 10 envelope into here, and it will not take a number 10 envelope. It just wouldn't grab it, and that might be because of the condition of these tiny little print rollers. So these little plastic rollers have tiny little rubber bands, a pair of them on each roller, that actually grips the paper, and they're probably just hard, as you know most rubber rollers would be of this age. So I did have problems with it. It wouldn't grab a number 10 envelope. So you can't really use this for printing envelopes, unfortunately. Well, the functions on the keyboard are very similar to a lot of other Daisywheel electronic typewriters. You have some hard switches here. First of all, you have the viewing angle you can adjust, which is the contrast of the LCD. And then you have a 10 or 12 pitch selector. You can turn spell check on or off. I typically use it off. And line spacing is 1, 1.5, or 2. And then you have all the standard keys of an American style keyboard and US style. You also have this mode key that you can switch between direct typing mode and line-by-line edit mode, which in that case you type through the LCD display and you can edit that line, and then when you do a carriage return, then it prints it. Very similar to a lot of other Daisywheel typewriters and thermal typewriters. And then you have some of these blue functions up here that are accessed by the blue code key. There's also blue functions on the front of a lot of the keys down here, which is also accessed via the blue code key. So your left and right margins are set here and here. There's a lot of other features in here that pertain to editing digital files, including a thesaurus and a dictionary. So you have your auto return capability. You can either turn that on or off, so it'll do an automatic carriage return in the hot zone. You can do justified print, so fully justified. You can auto center it, so like for titles. You can also set it to underscore either individual words, the whole line, or turn that off. You can clear tabs. Tab set is the blue code shifted of the tab key itself. There are tab options. You can do decimal tabs, flush tab to the right or off, and you can do paragraph indentation, so indenting an entire paragraph. You have correction, so it will correct the last letter you printed. When you hit the correct key, it goes over, it does a correct, and then it pauses there for you to type over that. And if you hit it again, it goes to the next letter to the left, etc. You can also do an entire word correction. There's an insert function. And I am going to slightly straighten it like that. Okay. So now you can do indexing forward or reverse using either the direct index key for moving the paper up, which is moving your print position down, or you can hit code and reverse it like that. I'm going to do the auto centering mode. I'm going to go underscore the entire line, and I'm going to type, "This is the title of this page." And then you have to hit return to exit out, and I'm going to exit out of the underscore mode, underscore off. So we are currently in the direct print mode, and I'm going to set up a tab. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tab set. There we go. I'm going to do another carriage return because I'm in single line spacing, and now I'm going to tab over and start typing. So I think this machine is a little quieter than some of the other machines like the Brother. It has more of a dull thud sound in the printing rather than a higher pitched clack. I think it's a little quieter. I kind of like it, actually. We're in the direct print mode right now, but we can go into line by line mode. So let's tab over, and now you can see the words appearing in the screen. Correct that and hit return. Now it'll print it, and you can keep typing if you want. You'll notice in the edit mode, I use the correct key just to backspace and delete what I've typed here. But if you're in the direct printing mode, the correct key would actually do a correction on the paper, which I'll show you here in a second. So here we're going to finish this line. Now on the new line, I'm going to go back to this is document memory, and then we go back to the print mode again. Direct print mode, let's see if I want to go back and delete the period at the end of the previous line, the word printed here. So what I'm going to do is first we use the code and the index. So each time you use the index, you're moving the paper half a line. So I want to go up twice. Now I'm on this same printed line. So I'm going to go right to the period and hit the correct key. And then I'm going to continue typing. All right. It does have a pretty good visibility even while it's printing because the machine is so flat. So even through the smoked plastic here, I can read it pretty well. But of course, you can also lift it up like this, and you have a better view of what you're typing. But I think it has pretty good visibility. I'm actually quite impressed. So in the direct print mode, I can erase an entire word and add the letters that I want instead. So I hit word correct, and I'm going to type ORDS for the finish of the word words, and here we go. So it erases and reprints, and there it is. It is correct. Now here's a nice feature I like, which is the paragraph indent feature, which is essentially like setting a temporary left margin. So the way you do this is, let's say I'm going to move 10 spaces in, and I'm going to hit the paragraph indent, and now I can type a paragraph and it will be temporarily indented like it is now. And then to exit out of this, you want to turn off indentations. You just hit the code paragraph indent again, and it cancels it. So now we're back to the normal left margin, and we have ourselves a temporary indented paragraph. It makes it really easy to type indented paragraphs. Very nice. Well, I won't cover all the detailed features of the Epson Elite 300. So it can work in 3 different ways. It can act as a regular full-featured typewriter with lift-off correction. It can print one line at a time after you check the line to be sure it's correct. And you can store text in its memory or on a memory card so you can edit or print it later. In addition, it offers a dictionary and integrated thesaurus, an electronic spell checking, insertion and deletion of characters, words, or whole lines, search and replace, centering and justification, tabs and decimal tabs, 12 characters per second print speed, and of course the Daisywheel printhead for letter quality print and automatic power off feature. So kind of a quick overview of what the Epson Elite 300 does, kind of indicative of a lot of other Daisywheel typewriters of its era, but it has a little bit more memory capability than a lot of them did. I like the Epson Elite 300. I think it's one of the better Daisywheel typewriters that I've tried, and I'm really interested in maybe making a battery pack for it if I can. However, I do have a handful of maybe 3 or so new old stock film ribbon cartridges in the box, and there are several correction ribbons as well. And I looked out on the internet there, and the searching I did showed that you can get the correction ribbons, but the print cartridges are basically not to be found anymore. So this brings up a great point. You might find one of these wonderful machines from the late 80s or 1990s or even the aughts or teens. You might kind of think, you know, this was really pretty darn good. This is a good practical writing tool. And in this case, it is a portable Daisywheel typewriter that's really kind of nice. I'll probably be using it. Well, it belongs to my friend Kevin. He'll be using it, but we only have so many cartridges left. And when they're gone, they're gone. And this is kind of the story of Daisywheel typewriters. If you look at the brand Brother, they just recently went out of manufacturer. There are still new old stock Brother typewriters to be bought. You can buy them off Amazon right now. And that means the ribbon cartridges are still available online. And also Nakajima and Swintech, who make typewriters, and I think Swintech's use Nakajima components. Those two brands are still being made as of 2023. So there are a limited supply of Daisywheel typewriters out there on the market, but you know, we have ones like this, wonderful typewriters with just a limited availability of cartridges. So kind of enjoy them while you got them, right? But they won't be around forever because the cartridges aren't being made anymore. So I kind of have this philosophy in comparing electronic Daisywheel typewriters to manual machines. They're built entirely differently. These are built of electronics and plastics, and you have to treat them differently. You have to treat these in a clean, dust-free, room temperature environment. Don't abuse them. Don't drop them, scratch them, get junk inside of them. Just use them with respect and they will work for you pretty well. But they aren't as rugged as a manual typewriter. They're not going to take that kind of abuse, right? So that being said, they're very practical for just typing words. If you want to create directly to paper, you can turn off all the correction garbage on these machines and use them as a regular manual typewriter in essence. Direct typing typewriter to paper. So we only have a limited availability of ribbon cartridges for some of these typewriters. Others, like the Brothers and the Nakajimas, they're going to be around quite a bit longer. So my philosophy has been, while we have the cartridges available, let's enjoy using them. These machines were kind of a niche product. They were on the cusp between the end of the mechanical typewriter era and the computer era, because many of these Daisywheel typewriters also served as computer printers. They had a parallel port, some kind of interface, and you could use them as a printer. So they were a niche product for a certain era, and they're kind of interesting to use. They won't replace manual typewriters, but while we have them, they're kind of fun to use, and they're fun to play around with, and that's what I encourage you guys to do. Find yourself a Daisywheel typewriter that you can find ribbon cartridges for, and use it and have fun with it. They are creative tools, and they do one thing really well. They put out really good quality print, kind of like the way an IBM Selectric does, but in many cases they'll give you more capability than a Selectric. And we must not forget, of course, that IBM themselves quit making the Selectrics because the wheelwriters had replaced them, right, which were a Daisywheel typewriter. Okay, this is probably the end of my journey with Daisywheel typewriters. I mean, I don't have any more right now to review for you guys, but I've enjoyed covering Daisywheel electronic typewriters in the last few weeks. I think they're a curiosity, but if you can find the cartridges, they work really well, and they have a kind of interesting properties that make them really good for throwing down high-quality printed words on paper really fast. And that's all about serving the needs of us creative people. If you like to create with words direct to paper, you need a typewriter. And this is one option. I wish you the very best in your creative journey and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye for now.